Hey, what's up guys, Darkbreaker here, in today's video finally with an exciting tier list for the new patch 5.2c. We have the Rengar Rework, we have the changes on Lethal Tempo, on Ardent and on Last Whisper items. Overall, not major changes, but some very interesting changes, especially on Rengar. And if you guys want to see and listen to my opinion about the patch notes and about the patch and how it's affected the meta and where I think or what I think are the best champions for each position, then definitely stay tuned. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. So I keep doing these tier lists, and you guys show me that you guys still enjoy these type of tier lists. I think I didn't do the last yet because I didn't have time. But yeah, so we're doing 5.2c immediately. Viego got also nerfed. Pretty big nerfs on Viego. We have the new champion Mordekaiser that came recently. I don't think I made the tier list for with Mordekaiser yet, so that's gonna be interesting. And let's get started with Baron lane, then jungle, mid lane, ADC, and support. ADC also massive changes because of the Lethal Tempo. And remember, this is my personal opinion, it's just an orientation for you guys. You guys can have your own opinion, obviously, and this is just my opinion and my experiences so far playing this patch, this new season. So let's get started. Aatrox, in my opinion, still one of the best Baron, or it's still one of the best Baron laners. He profits from the standard items, making him super. I mean, he does a lot of damage, is tanky, has a lot of sustain. What am I supposed to tell you? Akali is still one of the best solo queue assassins in the game. Strong in the lane, strong in team fights. Garen is just super tanky, no matter what. Like, this guy is just super tanky, easy to play, and does really good amount of damage, so it's very solid as plus pick. And I also try to move down a lot of champions that I think I rated too high, or like I just shifted the tier list a little bit more from, like, I think I had too many champions in S, especially in the other, like mid lane and jungle, so I tried to shift them a little bit down. So you guys can see, okay, this is really the top, the best of the best. Okay, next one, Zed. I think Zed right now is such a good pick because he's super tanky, provides insane amount of utility in team fights, and he can soak a lot of damage in team fights. Having the standard combo is also crazy on him, and then with hard heal, standard combo, and what's the item again? Stoneplate, he has so much shielding, and he's just so tanky and has true damage. So Zed, I was debating putting him S tier, but honestly he's S plus tier. I hate playing against Zed. Gwen, I don't think that many people will agree with me putting an S plus tier, because not that many people know how to use Gwen, but Gwen is the counter against tanky champions because of her true damage, and she's one of the strongest late game champions in the game, by the way. Gregor's over still a super solid pick, whether you're running him AP or tanky or hybrid, up to you. Very good at making plays happen and good damage overall. Jax, one of the best late game split pushers in the game, one of the best duelists in the game in the 1vs1, and also good in teamfights, by the way. Mordekaiser. Honestly, I think Mordekaiser with hard tier when he gets into the late game is absolutely disgusting to deal with. His early game, he might struggle against certain matchups, especially if he's getting hard tier, trying to scale. But once he reaches like 4+ items, he becomes a monster. Presses ultimate onto the ADC, and the ADC can't do anything. So you can... His value he's getting in teamfights is just crazy. He's tanky, he has a lot of utility, he does a lot of damage. Only problem is just his early game and some matchups where they have true damage, etc. Camille, I think I decided to move her down because I just don't feel like... I think she's still good, but she's pretty hard to play in this meta. Yeah, I mean, still pretty good with Divine Sundra and the Sunnet Sky. But I just feel like her 1vs9 potential isn't as good. There is also Grey Bruiser, or should I say Grey Juggernaut. Only downside is that he gets kited against a lot of team comps, especially now that Lethal Tempo got changed. and a lot of ADCs have more range, so he gets even more Kaiser than beforehand. Fiora, great split pusher, sucks in team fights. Jace falls off late game, but overall with a tank build that is kind of getting popular right now in China, I think he is still pretty fine. And he's just over solid. He's solid, but not like a hyper carry where I'm gonna say, wow, this guy is gonna carry every game. He's so good. I need to ban him. Riven also solid bruiser, high mobility, high damage. Yone, one of the strongest late game scaling champions, really good teamfight potential. Aurelia, also in the right hands. In the right hands, if you have mastered Aurelia, she can be very, very good in the 1v1 and in teamfights. Shen, great teamfight utility because of his ultimate. Dr. Mundo is an insane meat shield in teamfights. Malphite, obviously, with the ultimate, insane value in teamfights. Also, great counter pick against physical damage compositions. Vladimir is one of the strongest scaling AP champions in the game. In the late game, he becomes a monster. Maokai is very similar to Ornn, that they both have insane amount of tankiness, utility, and crowd control. Yasuo, tank Yasuo should I say, is still very, very good in teamfights, especially on top. Like if you in combination with the right team comp, he becomes a menace in the late game. Renekton, overall, very, very solid pick, strong at every stage of the game, kind of falls off in the late game, but he's kind of complete package where he has good early game, good team fight, and overall decent damage and tankiness. Urgot got a hard nerf. Okay, not hard enough, but he got nerfed in the early game, but he's still an excellent counter pick against tanks, by the way. Sion with the split pushing, he's still a fantastic tank in teamfights and also good split pusher. Becomes very, very annoying if people can't deal with his split pushing. Cannon, strong early game, strong teamfight, but 1v1 he is kinda meh in the mid and late game. He will struggle against a lot of champions in the late game and not being able to hold the lane anymore. That's the biggest downside. Akshan, kind of similar to Cannon, minus the fact that Akshan doesn't have the insane teamfight value like Cannon, but his lane dominance is crazy. And also good, he got buffed, by the way. His third ability does way more damage now. Teemo, strong early game, strong late game, falls off mid game though. Is weak in the 1v1, but overall, super late game, he is cracked. Like most Teemos in the super late game, will always have insane amount of damage overall. Pantheon is super strong in the early game, but falls off completely afterwards, becomes an NPC. So you have to use the early lead to extend the snowball onto the bot lane, spam ganking with your ultimate, etc. Trying to snowball the game, win the game early on, and hope your ADC carries the game. Wukong. I mean, his teamfight value is okay, but overall I feel like his laning phase is... he's not as good as he used to be. Tryndamere, hey, he got massive nerfs, still fine though, in the 1v1 teamfight, kinda hard to play a lot of times. Graves, super scaling, can be a good pick against some matchups though. Same for Vayne. Vayne is a good counter against melee champions because of her kite ability, but the problem is if she's gonna get ganked and punished by the enemy jungler, you will not be able to play the game. Nasus, 2 scaling. Singe actually scaling, but very good in the late game because of his utility and CC. Swain also extremely scaling, but kind of same explanation that he becomes pretty valuable in teamfights later on. Lissandra, kind of the same. Should I say, I would say her early game is not that good. Her wave play is not that good. She's pretty easy to punish and zone away from the wave at the beginning of the game. She's kind of safe though because of her self ultimate. But she needs decent amount of farming in the top lane, which she might not be able to do. Maybe I shouldn't even put her Baron lane, to be fair. Kayle, one of the best late game champions, but try to reach the late game with Kayle. Good luck, because 3 people will gank you and farm you like you are a freebie. Yeah, but that's it for the Baron lane, so let's move on to jungle. Jungle. By the way, this is not in an order, by the way, for you guys wondering if I say Rengar's the best pick. I don't think he's the best pick, but Rengar's buff is crazy. They buffed his base stats, they reworked his kit, and he does so much damage in solo queue right now. In solo queue, if you are playing, like, There's some team comps where I will say he's not S plus tier, he's S tier. But there are some team comps where he shines and is absolutely broken. His damage is through the roof and his one-shot potential is crazy. I think he has the strongest one-shot potential next to Evelyn, most likely when they're both fed. Because these two are one-shotting you so easily. And if Rengar gets fed, there's nothing you can do as ADC because you probably can't even react in time because you're dead immediately. You're just gone. You can't even react in time. But yeah, there are some team compositions, like if everyone is super tanky, etc. Maybe you can just run Bruiser Rengar, to be fair, like with Divine double Sandra. You could even run Bruiser Rengar against those team comps. I didn't try it yet, but Rengar against team comps where they have only one tank maximum, I think he is S plus tier. Hakram, also very, very good in solo queue because of his movement speed and his damage and his sustain and his tankiness. Maokai, also excellent pick in solo queue because of his teamfight potential and the value he provides. Yeah, Maokai is just straight up that good. Talon, yeah, I think it's fair. Talon is a very good assassin, same for Lee Sin. High mobility, really good burst damage. Honestly, I was actually considering putting Vi as plus tier. I don't know why, but Vi fits so good into this meta right now, and she's such a solid pick. You can pick her against any team comp. Vi always works. There are some champions that don't work every single team composition, but Vi is one of those champions. You can pick her every single team against every single team comp. Every single time you can pick her. She has good damage. She can reach the back line. She is super tanky. Hey, she has good utility in team fights. She has the lockdown ultimate for the ADCs right now. She's such a good pick. Good damage, tanky, whatever else. I put Kha'Zix down because I feel like in this meta right now where everyone, like a lot of champions are really tanky. I feel like he kind of struggles a lot of times against those team comps. I think he's the strongest tier. Still a good assassin. If the opponents are squishy, he could be S plus tier, but overall, I think he's just a strong S tier right now. I'm struggling sometimes on Kha'Zix right now. Mordekaiser, hey, Mordekaiser is such an insane scaling champion, and his ultimate is just too good. His ultimate is just straight up too good. That's all I have to say for Mordekaiser. Viego got a massive nerf, but he is still very good in my opinion. He was beforehand, he was like broken, you need to ban him, but right now he's a strong S tier still. Jarvan also strong S tier, really good right now. I think I can put these two next to each other because they're so similar, or even like this. Because they're all very similar in like being strong bruisers with good damage, being tanky, having mobility, blah blah blah. And Riven can be good bruiser or assassin as well. Evelyn is one of the best AP assassins in the game. When she's snowballing, she's just one-tapping everyone. Gragas also super consistent pick, similar to Vi, that you can pick him every single time, and he has good playmaking and poke potential. Lilia is still an insane late game pick, especially against tanks. She is the #1 counter against tanks in the jungle right now. Better than Gwen, because Gwen has the problem that she might get kited, but Lilia has so much mobility, she kites the people and she can reach and kite around the tanks so easily, and her ultimate utility is really good in team fights. Kayn got buffed, or should I say Red Kayn got buffed, so Blue Kayn really good against squishy champions, and Red Kayn really good against tanky compositions. Did I forget something? Do I have Nunu here? I have Nunu here. Yeah, Amumu. Wait. Honestly, I should put them together like this. Is Rammus really that good right now? I mean, Rammus is kind of a counter against ADCs right now, huh? Yeah, maybe I should move some of them back up. I have Volibear twice, by the way. Yeah, I feel like with Volibear struggle because I get kited, though. Is Amumu that good right now? The problem is that Amumu will always work in solo queue. Amumu will always have a naturally high win rate because you just have to press ultimate. He's very easy to play. You have to press ultimate, you're tanky, you have good crowd control, and pressing ultimate in teamfights is already enough. You did your job. Nunu, insane spam ganker, being tanky, having a lot of utility, and same for Ramos. And I think the reason I'm putting him up is because Ramos is a great counter against ADCs right now. If you taunt like the enemy Caitlyn jumping onto her, he did his job. Yone late game cracked. Shyvana late game cracked. Master Yi late game cracked. I mean, these champions are like insanely scaling. Yone has so much damage and playmaking. Shyvana becomes a 1vs9 monster. Master Yi, especially in lower ranks, is a menace. You get like if you're snowballing on Master Yi, you're just running everyone down. Like he is very, very good with the mechanics right now. Diana also very good in team fights. High mobile AP assassin. Jace is solid. Darius is also solid. Problem is just getting kited. Akshan kinda snowballing and situational. Fiddlesticks, honestly, I don't remember the last time I've seen a good Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks can be good because of his ultimate, but at the same time, he is pretty scaling and he's also pretty weak in the early game. Olaf, very situational, can be good counter pick. Kindred, also situational in solo queue. Morgana is pretty good, but I would also say kinda situational. She works the best against melee champions or tanky champions. Zed, very snowball reliant. Wukong is not bad, but I just don't feel like he carries as hard as other champions. Volibear, also not bad by the way, but I feel like in solo queue he just struggles to like sometimes I feel like he struggles to reach the people that he wants to reach. And he's so reliant on his allies. If you're chasing onto someone and your allies are not even following, then go next. He's too reliant on allies, I would say. Camille, very slow jungle clear, very scaling. Graves, very scaling. Shen, super team reliant, can be good though. Neela, very, very scaling and needs the right team setup. Echo is very scaling. Warwick should be beat here, fuck that shit. Echo, like very scaling. Aurelia, very snowball reliant and needs... you need to be very good on Aurelia and you need to snowball on her. Gwen is insanely scaling. Mundo is fine. Mundo is super solid. What can I say? A is solid. A is solid. S is strong. S for strong and A for average. Hey, I mean, he's fine. Yasuo, very scaling. Has not good jungle clear. Fizz is very scaling. Late game, he becomes super, super good though. Same for Jackson. Like, if I'm putting champions here, most of the times it's because they are insanely scaling and they need time. And sometimes you just don't have the time to scale because games get out of control from the first 3 minutes. And that's solo queue. Pantheon, he just falls off completely in the mid and late game. Kale is too scaling. It's not bad though in the jungle. Twitch is super, super snowball reliant and too scaling. I keep saying the same, but it is what it is. Warwick is an inconsistency piece of shit. And he sucks in team fights. See, I'm keeping the tier list short so you guys don't have to listen to 50 minutes of me yapping around. Keeping it short for you guys. Should be grateful. Okay, so for mid lane, Lissandra, insane playmaker, having a shit ton amount of damage. Lux poking and utility is crazy. Kassadin late game, he is a god. Akali, one of the best AP assassins in solo queue. Vladimir late game, god. Yasuo late game and Yone late game both are gods. And with lethal tempo, they even get more range on their first ability, making it easier for them to reach and combo and destroy you. Ari is an insane playmaker. Mordekaiser late game, super strong, but early game weak, and he will have big problems against a lot of range champions in the early game. Orianna, teamfight utility champions, very good. Zyra got buffed, teamfight utility champion, very good and solid. Like S is strong, okay? Twisted Fate, macro and map control, pretty good. Nice crowd control. Diana teamfight, excellent. Gragas teamfight, excellent. Lucian, high mobility, burst damage, good in the early game, good in teamfights. Corki with the package and the poking, very good in teamfights. Fizz, weak in the early game, but a one-shot monster later on. Aurelia in the right hands, like I said, is an insane counter in the laning phase against a lot of those range champions in the right hands. Like you're just rushing Wit's End and you just, maybe, I don't know, Wit's End Borg or something, or Trinity, Wit's End, Trinity Borg or whatever. You're just destroying them 1v1 and then you're trying to snowball, and she can be very good. Katarina, yeah, you get one reset in team fights and she can wipe the whole team off. Zed, snowball reliant, great 1v1, great split pusher. Syndra, I mean, she's kind of similar like them, insanely good in team fights because of her long range poking utility. Galio, also tanky utility poking AP champion with the global ultimate that can be very good in team fights. Akshan got buffed, he is super good in the early game. I would say his team fighting is not as easy though as other champions, but he can be very, very good. Especially if you get an early kill in the early game because of his lane oppression, and then he roams around, snowballs even more, he scales, and his third ability does a lot of damage. Vex is a solid pick, but I just I don't feel the danger of Vex. Like, I don't remember the last time I faced a good Vex, to be honest. I just don't. But I mean, solid. Swain, pretty scaling, solid. Vega, very scaling. Ziggs can be here. I honestly know, after the rework he feels weak, to be fair, that's why I put him here. Annie, I mean, her ultimate is good. Maokai, pretty scaling, not that strong in the laning phase. Morgana, very scaling. Echo, very scaling. Cannon, kind of weak in the early game against a lot of champions, but good because of his ultimate. Oh, this one, I forgot to change these two, by the way. I forgot to move them when I did the tier list. S tier and S tier. And the others are fine. Sorry, by the way, I forgot to move them because I was just pulling all the champions up like this. Bop, 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 and then I moved them afterwards. I forgot to move these two. Zoe, long range poke, really good overall, and Aurelion Sol, great in team fights. These two are definitely S tier. My bad. I know someone in the comment will cry, "Oh, Darkbreaker, why did you put them B tier? Oh my god!" And I will just say, sorry, my bad. So that just shows you didn't watch the tier list. If you're writing this right now, if any one of you guys is writing this right now, it's because you didn't watch the tier list. I already corrected it. Okay. Seraphine B tier, weak ass in the early game. Weak ass in the early game. Her ultimate is excellent team fights though. Gwen, weak ass in the early game, but her late game is excellent. Same for this champion and same for this champion. They both have the same explanation. Nice. So, S plus tier ADC, that's probably easy when I can say it. For you guys who don't know, what they changed on Lethal Tempo is, when you have max dex, instead of getting attack speed, you get more range now. So, if Caitlyn and Tristana, that have one of the longest ranges on ADCs in the game, have Lethal Tempo and Magnetic Blaster, what happens? They can't be touched. They are shooting you from Nirvana away. They're shooting you down and you can't do anything about it. Caitlyn and Tristana with a Lulu running you down from downtown so far away, shooting them like, okay, I had to joke right now about a sniper and something that happened recently, but I'm not gonna say it. They're shooting you from downtown and no one's gonna do anything about it. So you can't handle these long-range champions because they're spacing you in teamfights and they're kiting you and they're shooting you from a million range away down and they're doing too much damage. So these two are definitely S plus in my opinion. And if you're saying no, then you are a fool. Anyways, all the other champions are here. Ezreal, high mobility, good long-range poke, has to scale though. Sire over really solid, good self-peel. and really good Uno reverse card with her feathers in teamfights. Draven, the most obnoxious and probably one of the strongest early game ADCs in the game, and when he snowboards in solo queue, you can bet your ass that he has 10,000 gold while everyone else has only 5,000. Kai'Sa over super solid every stage of the game. Jhin is super strong in the early mid game. Miss Fortune has a great ultimate and strong early game. Lucian is pretty strong at every stage of the game, has high mobility. Silver's ultimate is broken. Varus long range and ultimate are very good. Vayne, I would move her down, my bad. Ashe. So Ashe, ultimate utility is not bad. A tier, Corki package in teamfights pretty good, but his laning phase is not that great. Jinx is 2 scaling, Zeri is 2 scaling, Twitch is 2 scaling. Neela and Samira are extremely team comp reliant, where they need the right setup, and if you don't have the right setup, I don't think you can make them work. Vayne, 2 scaling, just like this. I love to put them 4 together because they all have like the same problem. That the early game is very weak and they need a lot of items before they become strong, and if they get punished in the early game by like Caitlyn is shooting you down from downtown and they can't handle it, or Draven is just running them down, what are you gonna do about it? Nothing. So these 4 are usually inting in the early game completely, while Caitlyn, Draven, Lucian or Jhin are destroying them in the early game. Kalista is shit, Senna is shit. That's about it. Yuumi is broken, Lulu is broken, Pyke is an insane playmaker, Lux with a long range poke and shield is absolutely annoying, Soraka healing with the right team comp is 8. Very good. I mean, what do I have to say about this? Very tanky. They have insane crowd control, playmaking potential. They are tanky. They're all within the same tier in my opinion. Maokai has root and knockback and his ultimate. Gragas has his ultimate and the dash. Thresh has the hook and the fling, the ultimate. Galio has the AoE taunt. Leona is a single target Enchanter Destroyer. Very good engage. Rakan is an insane playmaker with AoE knockup and AoE taunt. Braum is very good against poke because of his shielding, and his ultimate is very good for playmaking and disengaging. Nautilus has his hook, his ultimate, his passive, whatever else. Alistar, 60% damage reduction using his ultimate, AoE knockup on a 5-second cooldown or something. Nami bubble is insane. Nami ultimate is also very good self-peel and playmaker. Karma, very good poke. Seraphine and Sona are super scaling, but in the late game, Sona is much better than Seraphine, by the way. A lot of healing and shielding. Her ultimate is very crazy though. Morgana 2 scaling. Doesn't provide as much utility and value as the other supports. Janna, shielding is not bad. Sett is great tanky playmaker, but I think he's very snowball and item reliant. Senna is shit. I hate every Senna player. I said right now, I hate every Senna player. I put a C tier. I hate every Senna, man. There are some Senna players that are good. 1% of Senna players are good, 99% are trash. If you pick her in the right team comp, she can be very good, but otherwise, trash. Ashe players with the ultimate can work. Blitz with hook can work, but kinda unreliant majority of the times. It's probably just a player issue, not necessarily a blitzcrank issue. Same for Senna. If you pick Senna into the right team comp and you're a good Senna, she's probably here, but 99% of the wildrift player base make her be like here, somewhere. So there is that. But that's coming for the tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried to do it fast for you guys, so because I know you guys don't have the longest attention span anymore. Hope you guys enjoyed the tier list. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and tell me your opinion about the tier list and about the patch. What do you guys think about Rengar right now? What do you think about the lethal tempo changes? And I see you guys next time. If you guys have an interesting video idea that I can do, you can write it down below in the comments as well. Because I saw someone write, "Oh, Darkbreaker, you could make better content." And I know I could make better content, but there is a balance between effort to views. effort to what do I get out of it. Like, remember, I'm working full-time right now, so I'm making these videos in my spare time for fun, for you guys. So I hope you appreciate it, by the way. And if you guys are wondering why I'm like uploading, like streaming less, that's the main reason since January, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I could make a video with like way more effort, but if I do that, I would probably do way less videos. And at the same time, I don't even think if I do a very well-made video, it might not even get that many views. Do you understand me? Like, let's say I put 10 hours effort into a video, but it only translates into ×2 amount of views. Why should I put that much effort into a video if it's A, not appreciated enough, and not that many people care about, and wildrift is probably also not that popular anymore. So that's my opinion about that point. So that's why I just upload streaming VOD stuff, because it's easier for me, and that way I can still upload almost daily, even though I'm working full-time 40 hours, by the way. So if I'm doing like all the, like, you see, you get daily videos. I was even on vacation for 2 weeks, and you still had daily uploads, by the way. So I hope you guys appreciate it, and that's about it. I see you guys next time. Bye bye.